Mark, Barry, we'll get straight into it. At the weekend, they were saying who's the best player so far this season. Chris Boyd suggested it was Ryan Kent. Faddy disagreed, James McFadden. What would you say? Who's the best after 3 games?
After 3 games, it's easy for me to say it's Jota, with the way he started, with his assists and the goals that he scored. But we're only 3 games in, as you mentioned earlier on. There's another 35 games. It could be Kyogo, Callum McGregor, Morelos, Kent, Tillman, who again really impressed at the weekend. So I think there's a long way to go before we decide who's the best player in Scotland. But at this early stage, listen, Jota's got off to an absolute flyer.
Massive start for both sides to the Old Firm at the weekend, Mark. They've 3 games down, 9 points.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I thought at the start of the season, I think if you look at what Celtic won the title with last season, it was maybe 91 points. I said it'd be up to, I think the title winner, you might need to get to 100 points to win the title this season. 114 up for grabs. It's not going to be far off it. They are relentless. Both of them. Watch Rangers on Saturday, special performance. Tillman is man. Ryan Kent's not even the best player at Rangers, never mind the best player in the country at the moment. He's a good player, and obviously he'll be an important part tomorrow. But he's not been on it yet. But Tillman really looks the part, and you know, speaking to people at Rangers on Saturday, Paul, they think he's a bit special. They think, you know, he's destined for big things in the game, and that's why he's at Bayern Munich. And it's a great compliment to Rangers and to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at Bayern Munich. I've trusted, because that's not a guy that's, you know, so far out there, but there's a guy that the Bayern Munich sees, somebody that can play for them, but they've given him out to Rangers on loan. So it's good, and he was special on Saturday. And for Celtic, Jota obviously catches the eye. You know, his goals, and plays with a smile on his face. He's a great personality as well. But you know what? Greg Taylor's been every bit as good in the opening 3 games of the season. He's had to hold off Bernabei as well. So you look at Greg Taylor and what he does for Celtic. He plays a very important role too. But obviously Jota grabs the headlines.
Kyogo as well. We haven't mentioned him yet, Barry. A couple of goals so far, and he would be a contender for one of the informed players at the moment.
Yeah, again, he's got off to a good start. I mean, Celtic's first goal was a great goal. You heard Postecoglou speak after in his interview. It's something they work on quite a lot with the fullback coming inside. And obviously, it's the way that Greg Taylor receives the ball. He opens his body straight away. He knows what's round about him, and he plays a great ball through. But it's Maeda that makes that run. And a great ball across, and obviously Kyogo finishes. Again, I watched both games, and 2 of them they're so strong. And I keep going back to it. It's the strength and depth that they've got, and when they do start to get a bit tired or leggy, they can go and make the changes, and the guys that they're bringing off the bench, both Rangers and Celtic, are making them even stronger at times.
So every bit is good, and sometimes better, the ones they're bringing on.
I mean, you could argue with Rangers at the weekend, Lawrence and Arfield could easily, for me, start Kamara, Morelos, and then you look at Celtic, James Forrest, Giacomakis. Starfelt played every single game last year, Abada. So these are the guys that both Rangers and Celtic are bringing off the bench, and it's real quality throughout the squad.